Chapter 102. Merciless. You are listening at famvetv.info. The hysterical laugh of the sunglasses man resounded in the background as Randy carefully but quickly read through the red texts displayed by his system. A moment later, Randy stood back up, ignoring the helpless and hysterical sunglasses man, so that / why he was so excited. It turns out those arrows were not only encased in energy but also in poison. But too bad you guys picked the wrong opponent to use this method of attack on, Randy calmly thought to himself in confidence. Thinking so, he activated one of his skills right away. Blood Authority skill activated. The moment that this Blood Authority skill activated, Randy immediately closed his eyes. And almost right away, he was able to sense and identify toxins that managed to enter his body. And while utilizing his control over blood with the activated skill, he quickly but carefully expelled those toxins from his body through the small opening wound caused by the arrow earlier. Which, in turn, prevented the poison from invading further into his body, thus ultimately saving his life. This method used by Randy was more advanced and complicated than someone using a hemokinesis ability or a medical unit using some specific technique to extract the poison from someone / body. But if one wanted to compare his Blood Authority skill with another ability of the same effects, at that time, they would only assume that it was similar to a hemokinetic ability user. After all, those kinds of ability users also have control over blood other than their own, but the rate of their control was always less when used against someone other than themselves. However, Randy does not have such weakness. That was because, the current him, right now, as long as the target remained stationary, he was confident in quickly controlling their blood as if they were his very own, just like how he stopped Li Weisheng / blood flow in the virtual world during their virtual combat session. For now, the only weakness would be his evolution stage, but that increases someday. At that time, perhaps he might not be limited to controlling stationary targets. At that time, I tried using this Blood Authority on Li Weisheng as he moved, but my control over his blood wavered each time he made sudden quick movements. Ha! If I didn't find the perfect timing, I'd on / think that I would V1 that virtual combat / Randy reflected on his fight against that sword cultivator, Li Weisheng. At this moment, he had completely gotten rid of the poison in his bloodstream without much difficulty. And then, Superior Regeneration skill activated. Very quickly, the small cut wound on his shoulders disappeared without leaving behind any scar. This was one of the assimilated skills that he obtained from the Werewolf King during that night. Up until now, he had never activated this skill, mostly because he did incur any injuries and that today was the only day that he had received a flesh wound. Even when he cut his finger that time as he was checking out his abilities, he did not bother to activate this skill because the wound somehow closed by itself after a while. After all that was taken care of, Randy looked down once again. The sunglasses man, who was still laughing madly earlier, had all of a sudden shut his mouth with the look of disbelief on his face when he saw that Randy was standing there without agonizing in pain as he had hoped. Randy did not wait for him to regain his senses and instantly bent down, grabbed him by his neck, and then raised him high above the ground with one hand. At this moment, Randy / figure was taller than before, his height reaching more than 6 feet or 2 meters. That was due to his transformed state, caused by using the reinforcement of the Werewolf King, which drastically increased his body size in general. At this point, the sunglasses man came back to his senses when he felt something grab his neck and immediately started struggling to break free to no avail. KRGH. How is this possible? How are you able to continue standing? Did that shouldn't have been possible with all that poison in your blood? Why are you not screaming in pain, groveling, and begging me for mercy? Just why? The sunglasses man said in disbelief, unwilling to accept the current situation, as he continued to struggle to break free from Randy / tight grip. At this moment, the sunglasses man had a look of resentment, and Randy observed this look on his face in indifference for a moment before he opened his mouth to speak. Well, that doesn't matter to someone who is about to die, right? But then again, I am curious about something. Why did you attack me? We have never met before until now, and I have a good memory, so I am very certain that this should be our first encounter with each other, meaning we had no grudges whatsoever to speak of in the past or anything for that matter. So are you telling me that just because someone hired you guys, no, let me rephrase that, just because that young lord or whatever from the Silvermoon family hired you guys to check on me, you guys tried to kill me? Is that the order that he gave you? Randy took his time to demand this series of questions that had been on his mind this entire time, because according to what he heard from the female police officer, this young lord from the Western District was an arrogant and egotistical individual who viewed their bloodline in some inexplicable awe. And one of the traits of the people in their family was the unique silver-white hair color that they had due to their bloodline ability. Furthermore, with their combat prowess, and their contribution in the past during the monster and beast outbreaks, they had obtained a very high nobility status in the Western District. And they were so proud of this, and so, they viewed their white hair, the symbol of their family, in high regard, and that was the reason why that Silvermoon young lord would try to investigate him to see if he belonged to their family. Randy was not going to let someone walk over him again like in the past, and so, when he sensed that someone was tailing him before, he quickly got rid of them as a warning to the one who sent them. But the other party still did not give up and sent this group of gang members to assault this time, and judging by their actions, they all carried some hostility towards him rather than someone who came to confirm something with him. With how things were, how could Randy wait to be killed by them? Why would he show them mercy? At this point, when the sunglasses man heard this question, he was shocked and started trembling. How? How? How come you know who hired us? That bastard said that you have never met him before, so how? Cuck. Damn it, Don_T tell me, we were played by that fucking bastard. That fucking bastard knew how strong you were but lied about it when he hired us. Arg. I will kill him. The sunglasses man cursed in resentment and exasperation at this moment, and he continued to struggle even more in Randy_'s grasp before suddenly turning limp. Blood authority skill activated. Randy stopped his blood flow in annoyance and instantly activated another assimilated skill, grip skill activated. Listen to the full novel at famvetv.info, direct link in the description.